Father is a father. Of course, I want to marry my daughter to a good man, not a strong fighter. I am the master of the way, and I really want to stop this at all costs. Looks like we're both tired, right? Fan Min thought, this person is really interesting. A real person. You can even sacrifice your whole family for your own sake. But he's still a very emotional person. It's totally different from that kid. Yeah, that's right. He's the master of the arts. Who takes the position? Carry heavy responsibilities. It cannot be as free as the road says. Don't just rely on natural talent. They can hold the title. Elders in the way. As usual, if he is expelled from the family. It's no wonder. Don't the music continue? I believe you and the mountain. They will be my friends in the future. I also want permission to get to the main point. Are you ready? Laughing softly, of course, it's over. I understand what the chief wants in the street. Not true. You want to make an alliance with the paint. That's right, exactly. I want to ally with the chief. It's not paint. He looked surprised. But we are inseparable from Hoa-san. I know I just want the mayor. You know that. To be able to get the mayor. We will ally with the paint at all costs. Smiling Military Road. Hoa-san's support for Moon Road. It's not that difficult. Just don't forget, Chief. How do we appreciate the mayor? Oh, just want to get me. That the road is famous. The world is ready to support family. Not wrong. It's ridiculous, but it's worth it. Hahamin laughed and said, the owner is lying without blinking his eyes. What do you mean by that? Don't look at me with your face. I don't mean the Sichuan way. The alliance with the paint is due to nefarious intentions. But the kind of altruistic attitude of the master. It makes me a little uncomfortable. Don't listen to music. The mayor is young. So look at things not very thoroughly. Although the leader's martial arts are very powerful, but everything is just a prediction. There's no guarantee of a tiger. Can you be a champion tiger? If you look at that, Hoa-san and Tang Mon cannot cooperate with the party, even when the leader of the world becomes the first. And also the director alone can't make the whole flower paint on par with other sects. So what's the reason? We have to see that paint is the same as the road. I said no, wrong. Calmly replied Fan Min. The owner thinks that is reasonable. But cooperation, it's only between peers. In other words, between people who need each other. It's not that Hoa-san wants to go to school. It's the road that wants to paint. Line of musicals. Why does this kid say that? At the same time, he stood up. Go to the side to get the map. And back on the table in front of them. He pointed his finger at the Sichuan road. This place is the road, right? Yeah, not wrong. Below is Russia. At the bottom is the city. On the right, there is martial arts below. Of course, there's a point down there. Sorry, but we won't talk about it today. Because there's a pain point. Then nothing's changed. The band began to look at the light with a completely different face. Than Min received the new spirit of the subject in a comfortable way. Now your master is starting to get serious. You think. Very likely, the essence of the line is the same as the line. They're all kind of gentle people. But the subject's position, it's not a location at all that the shaky can handle. What the band wants is very clear. Radical benefit. He only acts when he's sure he's got something and is letting himself be marginalized. And so positive. It means. At the same time, the band asks seriously. What does the mayor want to say? It's not too coincidental or SAO. What? The road is surrounded from 4 directions. They're all equally powerful factions. Even more than the road. He looked at the map indifferently. And if they flood into Sichuan, the road will suffocate. Calm down, the music road replied yes. It seems like the mayor is wrong about something. Then yes, the relationship between the school and the top 9 schools in the state is very good. They can even be called friends. Shrugging shoulders is what it is. But that's until the end of Spiritism. Hear that sentence. Immediately, a blue light flashed in the eyes of the line of music. Speak when there is an enemy. The state and 9 factions will unite. But when the enemy is gone, why? Of course, that alliance will collapse. And the components in it. You will have to find new enemies. Even if it's a comrade who coexists with them. Up to the present time, the sound of music is getting more serious. Your house. And the light continues. The rest of the world has no problem. The South Palace and Murong are in the east. They can help each other. Like the road back. Alone in the west. And 9 of the state's leading factions block the road to make contact with other nations. In other words, the 5 great families, but not when something happens. It's just a matter of course or SAO. Surrounded on all sides by the 9 leading factions of the state. Maybe that's not what the school wants. And in that situation, the path needs a master. A Min friend, we can open a way out of the box. And just right behind Nam and Vo are. There's a place where these 2 forces can be contained. That's the flower. He smiled and looked at the music. Radical benefit. That's what made him act. You continue. If you think of Chung Myung as a large go board, where the line must be placed to escape the siege on all sides. It's the outside, not the inside. Because you have to find an ally for the chess piece inside. We can balance the battle. The band asked in a sweat. The director thinks the painting is so valuable. A painted flower, it's not even in the top 9 in the state. That's right, not in the top 9. That doesn't mean it's not profitable. He thought if Hoa Sun belonged to the 9 most factions in the state. Are we going crazy? To shake hands with the way. I don't think my words are wrong. It's called an ally. But that's the only relationship between us. The music industry is wrong. I just didn't say Ra. He continued, don't color anymore. Let's get to the point. Let's go around talking like this. It's not interesting. The owner wants to draw the paint to himself. Is to restrain the top 9 factions in the state. They're surrounding the gate. If the rumors, how to become an ally of paint, LAN transmit out, they can't help but care about paint. In this way, the barrier will be loosened. Because that constraint has shifted to paint. The way the army muses this boy. Of course, I misread him. It's not just power. But the book and the vision are just as broad. The person who's lying down right now may not be him. It's us and the road that's right. He closed his eyes and sighed. I think I have misjudged the leader. Than Min was surprised what he evaluated. I just thought. Leader, it's only good to hit and destroy. But it turns out, the master's mind is also very cunning. He was angry and told the son of a bitch not to tell him. Early death, so that our children are taught to talk like this? Don't keep talking, I admit. That's what I want. And paint flowers think differently. It's not that other problems aren't okay. It's only if the two sides become allies. The road will be more open. The paint is under control. It's not fair. I want a fair price. It's not a price to pay for color. It's got to be a fair price. That's how we can negotiate. Yes, it is. If so, I. He hurriedly jumped into the music hall. Before he could finish his sentence. First, I want to clarify something. About this, it's not because of the way the subject gave the flower paint. But Hoa-san agreed to the suitability of the. So should. Stop the attitude of the people above and look at the people below. Because now we're acting on behalf of Hoa-san. Face of music. Temporarily frozen. Before the firm assertion of Than Min. Just for a short time, but the expression on the face of the line changed countless times. But the words that were spoken after the transformation. There is no superior attitude. I've made a mistake. Don't. The music army stood up to create power with Than Min. Master Sichuan Road wanted. I'm sorry to Hoa-san, Than Min. Minor director. When you see that, stand up. I accept this apology. Min just created the power to respond and smile. The music continues the discussion. What does Hoa-san want to do for Hoa-san? So that we can work together. The answer is we have 3 conditions. Oh, what are the 3 conditions? The first is the weapon. The face of the line of music became hardened weapon. Poison and haunting of sugar. It's absolutely impossible to show it outside. If you want the wind of the road, then I'm E. We can't make this deal. No, I don't mean that I'm not possessed. Even if Hoa-san has an aura, it can't be used. So what's the chief's point? He drew the sword he was wearing on his side, without saying a word. He pulled out his sword in front of his master, without his permission. I am an extremely disrespectful act. But the man knew he was doing it with intent. So just sit there and watch him. He put the sword on the table and continued. Do you see this sword? Well, it looks bad. Even though we used a bit of force. But from the beginning, it was not a good sword. But it's inevitable. Because Hoa-san had no money before. But now the dog has a little money. But the search for blacksmiths. He can make a lot of good swords. It's a very difficult thing. They are such talented people. It was soon taken over by the other factions. Yes, but we know where the best blacksmiths are. Chung Myung. Forging a sword is as easy for them as eating porridge. It's not the talent that's to blame. It's like a good calligrapher. I won't blame my pen. Shit. He tried to go into the house of a good calligrapher. But look, they don't have 100 quill pens. Haha. You say too. Even if the sword is not good, but we can still use our power. As if that doesn't mean there isn't. The difference between a good sword and a mediocre sword. I heard that the golden rule is the greatest in the world. So what's better? If the road forging raw large quantity sewing Hoa sword and give it to the paint. We can do this. It's not that difficult. So what's the second thing? I want to transfer a technique to paint. What technique do you have to explain more clearly? Why do you know so much about the road? You keep saying too much to me. If not kinship, then we can't transmit the esoteric technique of the path. Give it to you. Why does he keep saying that? We're not talking about esoteric technology. I noticed the suspicious look of the music. He just took off his shirt without saying anything. And then he started removing the ice. Are wrapped around their wounds. Now there's only one red spot left. Street music sense. Your healing power is amazing. Yeah, that's because the sugar's too good. And what we want is the magic of the road. The art of the road. Why do you care about that? Ever since, there's no AI to learn the art of the subject. Of course, for ordinary people, it's not necessary. Because the art of the road. Focus only on internal and external treatment. It can't be cured. But the paint needs it. In a dream. Don't tell me. How important is this thing called medicine? If we then know the art of the path, maybe we could have saved a few more people. But all we know is the internal transmission. Material cabinet can heal organs that have been damaged. Of course, it can't be. Brother leader brother road moan. With your enemies. I'm counting on you. I was helpless to see others. And death in your hands. Because a sword pierced through the chest. That feeling is a terrible thing. That can't be put into words. He clenched his fist and continued. Shin, pass on the art of the way to Hoa-san. Then the two sides will become more comfortable and close. Yeah, this is not an easy thing to do. We have to convince the senators. Medicine, sugar too. But I'll do my best. He thought to himself, if that's the price you pay to get the paint, then we can do it. No, we have to do it to get the paint. He continued, it's hard, but we can do it. I want to hear the final condition. This is the most difficult condition, right? Yes, it's the most difficult condition. What is that? Min took a deep breath. And then he looked straight at the line and said, I hope he would think about becoming friends with the painting. It's not a matter of course. We are allies. Not allies, but friends. My voice has never been this deep. What I want is not one. They can leave each other at any time. A friend is the one who will reach out when we're in danger. That's the kind of relationship we want. Line of thinking music. It's not easy to promise. Even if you make a promise, you can't keep that promise easily. But why did he speak so casually? It's really hard to understand what he's asking. I know you asked for all this. It's all for their own reasons. But we can't see why. I don't know if we missed anything. So what's the reason you said those words? I close my eyes and I don't know. Image of winning. Smiling flashed through his head. Thank you, brother. He whispered to the bastard. Don't make that face again. She opened her eyes and shook her head. Just think of it as my 7. 7, usually. You know what's right. Ever since, there are thousands and thousands of people who want to be there. But no one wants to be a friend. Both. Your condition is really interesting. But honestly, the road doesn't know how to treat your friends. So I hope the mountain will show us. What is friends? Laughing, what is so hard about this? The music is still thinking, my friend. SAO friends. That sounds strange. But it's like a child's joke. It makes my heart laugh. Especially when that word comes out. It comes from someone's mouth. I can't understand his feelings. He said, yes, I accept your 3 conditions. And the alliance relationship of Tang Mon and Hoa Sun will be officially established by this. The rest of the problem now. That's the thing. Hoa Sun will accept this negotiation or not. Okay? It doesn't matter. I'll write a letter. He just needs to seal it and send it to the paint shop. Surprising military road music. You have such a great influence on the world. There is nothing. He said with a strange expression. The chief disciples and the elders, always shunned and despised by other sects. If they know the state of the road, maybe they will cry for happiness. I understand. There's a lot of work to be done. We'll deal with it as quickly as we can. Where is he going? The band is about to stand up. I was startled by the call of the light. We have to negotiate. Well, not before. We're done negotiating, SAO. He was negotiating with the paint. Than Min's fingers crashed against the wand. What about this one? What did we negotiate about that? The eyes of the street music are trembling. I didn't give you the poison. Hey, this is a big deal. He thought one of his elixir. Enough in exchange for my life. Your child has spiritual medicine. There is no such thing as medicine to give birth to humans. Am I right? Lucky for him, because his opponent is me, I am still alive. That's me. And he just threw me a piece of poison. Then try to shut my mouth. It's a sweaty band, 0.0. He pulled a book out of nowhere and banged the bag on the table. I've prepared something so that both sides can settle in peace. You just have to follow this. He doesn't need to thank me for my kindness. You can read freely. It's just a little too much. The face of the blue line. It was only at this point that the band realized that it comes from the mouth. And that's what happens when you run into a scoundrel. Not long after, the dog is back and tell everything to the white sky. Ally. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's a big thing like this. We can decide for ourselves. There's nothing that can't be done. Master is also here. Oh, left. When we start, the director has given full authority. It's time to decide what to do. What else? Have you forgotten? This white sky rolling its eyes. Wait, you son of a bitch. That's what the headmaster said, just in case. What if something happens in Yunnan? This guy. Make an ally like that. What will the master say? Of course, he will be very pleased. Yeah, of course, it'll be fun, damn it. How can you please the devil? White sky hugs your head, eat and drink. The practice is over. Who are you going to ally with again? And run back here? I know the owner is very pleased with this boy. But I didn't expect it to turn out that way. Let's think about it. Allies are okay. If you just look at the results, it's not so bad. It's not just at NDTO, it's a bargain. If established, meet one of the 5 great families. The mountain can fly high. After reorganizing your thoughts, White Sky spoke softly. First, you did very well. It's his kick. It also makes the fans nervous. White Sky continued. I don't know how you discussed it with your master. But even if it is, it's good to be like this. You did good. He's sweating. The Lord continues to say hard for you. Did you eat the wrong thing that was poisonous? Why does it sound so bad? White Sky with blood veins. But he quickly suppressed his anger and went on. But we still feel overwhelmed. The 9 most important states are SAO. The tradition of old paint. It's still associated with the state's 9 largest factions. Shaking hands with 5 great families. It's never been in history. I know. The relationship between the 9 major factions of the state and the 5 major families is not very good. I'm not sure, either. If you shake hands with your body, will it help for the current paint? But at some point, it may be a hindrance to the paint company to unite with the 9 leading factions of the state and restore is one of them. Have you thought about it? Fan Min replied, what's good about going back to the top 9? What's good is the reputation of the state's 9 leading factions. Oh, for fame. Fan Min pouted her lips. What is this? You want to go back to South Africa? Sweetie said in a serious voice. I urge you to think. That's the reputation that comes from the top 9 in the state. It's bigger than making an alliance with sugar. Where is the master's integrity thrown away? Who's the one who kicked us out of the top 9 factions in the state? Those bastards did it. And now, when you want to rebuild power, you recreate. Just laughed clown. Please come back. Sit in the same table with the 9 most popular groups. Aha. Forget the old story and restore the old meaning. No, we're not fools either. No more illusions. Shoo shoo. If we're with the 9 nines or something. It's really about helping each other when it's hard. Hoa-san did not fall into this situation. White Sky also has a mouth. In short, what I mean, it is a different path from the 9 most popular schools in the state. When both sides are in trouble, we will help each other. We have to build a relationship like that. Fan Min replied decisively, there is no relationship that is natural. It's only us who make those connections. It will definitely help the paint. So the creation of an alliance now. As far as I can see, there is no harm to our paint. White thought for a moment and then replied, I understand. Just do it. The ring on the side is amazing. Why do we do that? Yes, in front of you. We will use the authority given to us to advance this case. And I'll be responsible for everything. Receive Tone Child. Write a letter. Write about the conditions of the alliance. And send it in the name of paint. Yes, he urged the child soldier next to the Leap-Ton support. Oh yeah. White thought the elders would agree. More if there is a problem. The Holy Spirit will surely come to your aid. Sean must have thought about that too. You should be so confident. Maybe we don't have to worry too much. If so, from now on, the problem of the road seems to have been solved. Well, we have to go to Yunnan now. Fan Min turned his head to look at the masterpiece. Your brother has completed his business trip. Have you been to Yunnan? The expression on Shou's face suddenly became a bit strange. I don't have a clue about that. There's no business trip. What are you talking about? Last time you said the trip to Yunnan would start soon. So we have to get in quickly. About that. My father just lied. Let's get out of Chengdu quickly. He sort of gathered the traders together to come with us out of town. When I left the city, they will explain the situation to us. So this business is all fake. Move the scene to a moment later. We have another condition. He opened the door and said, the music can't help but startle. Not. It's not a condition, it's a blessing. I asked him to help me find a business trip to Yunnan. We're hitchhiking to Yunnan. You don't have time, so get ready. Thanks to him, the victory made him not even just in time to open up. Think about it again and again. It's like the word for help in Shaanxi and Sichuan. It means different. Then yes. Moved back not long ago. In the boardroom of those leading the way. What is the master thinking? Make an alliance with Hoa Sun, yes. It's not martial arts or southern tones, it's SAO. What are you thinking, master? Don't think music. Senate. Annoying old men. Get involved in everything big and small. Even though he retired because of old age. As the years go by, I don't know when it started being peer-to-peer. No, I have to say that we have the right to speak on a par. So every decision of the road, it's got to be approved by these people first. It's a bunch of annoying old people. Someone else's voice speaks. Don't get excited like that. Let's hear what the master says first. But, Abbot, you didn't hear what I said. I apologize to the abbot. Master, you can talk now. What are you thinking in your head? He's a danger to the Senate. The road of music. Painting is a subject. The party has full value. To be our ally. I looked at the music and laughed. It's a bizarre thing. The owner is not a bad person. I don't understand. Why can you make such a comment? Hoa Sun has rediscovered the old reputation. While we don't know anything about SAO. Danger said in a voice full of ridicule. If not, then it's been so severely weakened. And we don't know why. Let us put the paint aside. I heard that. You have removed the title of the head of the street. I want to hear the reason for that first. Why are you in the middle of it? The line of music landed because it didn't fit that position. Not suitable. Yes, I feel. It doesn't fit. To take on the responsibility of the subject line. So getting out of that chair early. It will be good that day. This is also good for the road. Oh, you're going to make AI the new master. In the tradition of the... Of course, he will be one of his disciples. Don't squint your eyes and think. He's sarcastic. The location of my master. Give it to his father. He asked the way very brilliantly. Should not be reconsidered or SAO. Road music replied. If it was before, I thought so too. However, once we see it with our own eyes, people who make us feel unsatisfied with our lives, there will be no compromise. You're talking about the dragon god. Don't look at the music with interest. His eyes glowed with cunning. It seems that you put the power of the master. It's a top priority, right? Exactly that. Don't risk smiling if you do. It also means it doesn't have to be the owner's child. It's not that. If one of the children of the road can overcome the dragon flower, then he can sit in the position of master. You just have to be the one who's got the power. Everyone can sit in that position. I understand the depth of the master's heart. Then, there's no better metric than that kid. Subject Master.